Hopefully we had enough blood for that sample. This one might have horns. There might be horns there. If they're not horns, they're skurs. Hey, welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, it is a new week, and it's pretty nice out. This past weekend, Dad and I are kind of kicking ourselves that we didn't cut hay on Saturday, but went on a little bit of a road trip, and you guys will see the results of that hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But to start out the week, we are going to do some preg tests on our heifers, and we are going to utilize the Prognostics test. I used 2 of these last year, and I actually only have 4. So there's going to be one heifer that we're not going to check. So we got to figure out which one that is. The boxes come in 6s, so that makes sense. Used 2 last year, and leaving us with 4. So I got to get these guys north of the border here. All right, so this is what we're looking at. So this is the actual test thing. Down here will be the results.
I'm gonna sit down.
We put a couple drops here, and then there's a solution. Well, you'll see. We'll take a little sample here from the vial, and then we got to put a couple drops of this on here so that the sample flows through the system. And it's not too hard. It's just a couple different steps. But we decided we're not going to test the 431 because we're fairly confident that she is open. So let's test the other 4. All right, let's see who's first. There we go. Come on, hup, hup. Beautiful. Hopefully we had enough blood for that sample, but we got an idea to help us out for the next one. Who is next? Like to leave 431 for the last. There we go. After these girls do this a few times, they know exactly where they're going. Come on, girl. Hup, hup. All right, so then we pop the top here. We take our little thingy, fill that up, drop that all in there. So that should be enough. We'll put the cap back on. Okay, and then we got this little solution. And this is what we put 3 drops of. 2, 3. All right, and now we wait. All right, so far, I think we got 3 bred ones. Because those things start with a blue line. And if you read the directions, you can see it starts with a blue line. And then 2 reds is pregnant, 1 red is open. So that line is supposed to change color. We just did this one, did Nora. Of course, she was less than cooperative. But good signs here. Looks like we got 3 bred ones. And we're pretty sure that 431 was open anyways. So we just got to wait a few minutes for Nora's to finish. So we're just going to let them camp out here for a little bit in case we got to pull that 431 out, because then the other 4 are going to go out with the cows, which I'm going to have to bring them up here somehow, or at least get some of them up here, which I think some of them will come up if I call them. But then that way, these heifers are with somebody. They'll meet somebody right away. I mean, they've been out in that pasture, but it's been a year. All right, so unfortunately, Nora tested, did not come up very good. For right now, we got to get the 3 out that are good. So Nora and 431 got to stay. The rest of them are going to go south of the border, and then we got to get the cows up here. All right, so let's see if we can call these cows up here. It really helps for these heifers. They haven't been out on pasture since September of last year. So again, always want to try and set your animals up for success. So let's see if I can call these guys up here. Hamas! 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 Come on, girls! Hamas! Hamas! Oh yeah. They also need to get moved tonight, so they're probably like, oh, hey, wait, a pasture back there? We've been in pastures back there. So hopefully that's part of the reason they're coming, and they're coming fast. Let's go. Oh, they actually went out really, really nice. It was actually more of a pain with the cows that are out there wanting to come back in. Now these 2 in front of me are 2 heifers, and they're pretty chill. I mean, that's the nice thing about this crew there. For the most part, they're pretty chilled out. And they just need to get with the rest of them, and Photo will put them in her place. Well, not one of their better moves. I got line strung out 50 yards. All right, we finally got caught up. If they don't take the corner right, and then you get some that'll jump over the top, and that's why I try and keep it nice and tight. But then if they pull a corner, kind of a joke. Well, and what I will say is nice is that these heifers aren't, these 3 that we let out anyways, definitely not like running around like goofballs, which is what happens sometimes. We're gonna stick an extra post in here. Yeah, that seems a little far. Let's let these guys be, and they're pretty content. Started out as a crappy move, but they're all good. I mean, we got some fresh bodies out here. So a little bit of chaos is to be expected. A little bit of flies out here, but not too bad. But I think they will come up for water a little bit more now, because I do have, they can't drink here and they can't drink here. They might try and drink like literally right here, but hopefully they'll be like, that's more work than worth. So hopefully they'll come up and check out the water. All right, Tuesday afternoon. So we're just gonna top off the water for these 2. Nice thing is with these 2, they don't go through much. And already today, because of the way I have the fence configured, the cows are already back up here for water because they can't really get access to a lot of water because they don't have that access to that ditch. Tomorrow I'm gonna see if I can get some estromate from our vet. Shouldn't be an issue, hopefully, or I'll ask her tonight, and then tomorrow we're gonna run them through and give them their shots and a fresh patch. But we're gonna grab a bale for the yearlings, and then we're gonna pull the baler out, New Holland RB450. It is nice that they came up here though, but it's also nice to see calves are starting to dig into the mineral. So if you haven't seen it stashed up here, we got the RB450 stashed up in the barn. So I got to move the fence trailer and start rearranging some of my planks. So yeah, so we don't fall through the floor like we almost did over the winter. We definitely like the upgrade to the 450. That has been a welcome upgrade. However, we do need to do some, if we want to keep putting it back here, we got to do something with that floor. Because like I've said, it's 1x on 1x. So anything that's not in between a joist or right next to a joist is pretty weak. All right, so we got the New Holland RB, and this is an RB, it's roll belt 450. So the 2, still haven't really heard what the 2 stands for. Kind of just thinking that it's like a second version of it, you know, like an updated version, but it's still the 450. Got this pretty cleaned out last year, but now it's time to start looking at it. You know, I don't think we need to do anything with chains other than maybe tension chains. Definitely got to go through and grease it. We're going to look a little bit at these pickup head spring locations so that this drops a little easier. It wasn't necessarily a problem, but the hydraulic ram lifts it and then you just put it down into float and then it drops automatically. But sometimes if this wasn't really lubed up or juiced up, it took a little while to wear this in. And it's the weight of the head to drop it. So we have a little bit too much tension on it. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do for a chain lube. I used a couple different spray chain lubes last year. Meh. I mean, whether they worked or not, I don't know. But we've always just used gear oil, honestly. And then I was actually thinking, why not chainsaw bar oil? Anybody use chainsaw bar oil? I mean, you're using it on a chain for your chainsaw, and that thing is screaming. So we've been playing around with the springs a little bit. It was in this hole here, but according to the book, pretty sure it should be in this one here. But the threaded rod starts here and goes up to here. I mean, that's over 2 feet of threaded rod. It's a little ridiculous. But we're just trying to get this. It moves up and down pretty free, but you still want a little bit of flotation. All right, back at the farm, and there's one thing I want to double check. So yesterday we let out those 3 heifers, but I just want to double check who those were bred to. Oh yeah, I like that. I'll take that. So we got Nikon, should have a moneymaker. The Bolt Ruler 913 should have an eagle. And the eagle should have an essential. So that would be really cool. All right, happy Friday Eve. All right, Dad is actually cutting hay. So we're gonna go and see how it's going. on there versus the 29. But this was the biggest reason for getting another cab tractor. So once I chat with Dad and see how it's going, I know he did the field next to this one. This is the smaller one of these two next to the house, right across the lane. Then there's also the pit field, and then there's like a 3-acre field right across the road from us. This stuff is a little bit more mature. It's not super thick. It seems okay though. But it's looking like Saturday is going to be our day to bale. And Saturday's supposed to be like 80 degrees too, so it should be dry enough. Alright, well I was playing around with how it discharges that back flap. And I had taken it up a couple notches so it would fly higher and further, but actually what it ended up doing is it narrowed that up a little bit. We're not super crazy about our corn yet. Like, it's not horrible, but it's not great either. Like, it should be like another 3 or 4 inches taller. So this stuff was planted about 3 weeks ago, give or take a little bit. And unfortunately the stuff behind Mom and Dad's is actually doesn't look as nice as this either. So all in all, our crops are okay, but they definitely could be better. Alright, we're down at the pit field and we're checking some hay. We're trying to figure out if we need to ted today. Unfortunately, this stuff, well, it's like half dry. The other two fields, there's a lot more grass, and they're a lot drier. We'll have to discuss. Well, I did not say it yet, but happy Friday. All right, so we've determined that hay's still about like, it's over 50% dry, but we're gonna leave it. Dad did get across the road and cut the neighbors, so that's something that if everything goes really well tomorrow, that he can take care of that by himself on Sunday. It's only like 3 acres, so take him like a half hour to rake and like maybe 45 minutes to bale. So right now we are gonna run out and move the cows, but I need some stuff. I need some supplies. I'm gonna go up and check my post stash. Actually, I'm gonna leave this open. I might close some of this off, but there's still quite a bit of grass out there. But maybe, I think my line, yeah, my line is somewhere in here. I might put a new line up here, let them have some of this, because what they're getting is going to be a pretty decent sized chunk. So I want them to utilize everything that they're going to have in front of them. This is a slightly new development. This was not like this the other day. And we're gonna go check on an old friend. Who is that? Woody. Mr. Wooden Post. Still rocking it. I'll put money on it. That post might be 30 years old. Because I'd say very early 2000s is when we got into these guys. I love these posts for our style of fence. So let's fix this and get that wire back up, because honestly this is a post I'm going to anchor off of, and we're going to head straight that way. All right, we are set up, all anchored here, transitioning through the ditch. I'll put one in the middle just to give myself that dip down. Hey, come on guys, come on, oh, come on. Nice cock, let's go, up. Come on guys, up. Come on, oh. All right, we have got everything taken down. We've got everything put back up. At least that we want to do today. Lots of variety out here. Believe this is reed, because that's what this stuff is right here. That is as tall as I am. Okay, so this is at the brim of my hat, if not a little above. So it's been a while since took a little walk through here. Obviously I'm paying attention. Factor hasn't been doing too much work lately, which is good. It's good and bad at the same time. More good than bad, let's put it that way. This is our Gibbs Essential bull, who I think might be finally starting to turn it on a little bit. Some of these cows out here, like Cora May, hard to tell if I think she was in heat, but she did have still got quite a bit of hair there. Couple of watery eyes, but not too bad. Little bit of fly pressure. This one might have horns. There might be horns there. If they're not horns, they're skurs. It keeps sticking out further and further right where she's supposed to have them. I know when she was born, I rubbed on that head 3 or 4 times checking for those dang things, and I didn't feel anything. So they might be skurs, and skurs would be considered pulled. Like if we got her DNA tested and we said, hey, she's got skurs, she still would probably be she'd probably still test hetero pulled, you know. So if we potentially would keep her and get her tested, obviously that is a gene that I would make sure I test on her. Definitely not a lot of complaints in here, that's for sure. I think this is our should have been a bull steer candidate for the year. That's 75. But yeah, a lot of nice calves this year. A lot of good looking rumps out here. Oh, does 53's calf have skurs? Oh, son of a biscuit. He's got horns. I should have remembered that. And I think she does. I know I probably didn't check him. That's my yearly reminder. You gotta check them all. Darn it. I mean, he's a feeder calf, but you know, he'll get into the fats program. But this one though, I did check her. I checked her multiple times, and it looks like she's starting to possibly pop something out there in the horn department. You know, we work them in the fall. We'll have to get a good hand on them and see if they wiggle. If they wiggle, they're skurs. If they don't, they're horns. The only bad part is, obviously you can sell them with horns, you get a little bit of a discount. If we took them off with the bands, they come off really clean. If you lop them off, then there's a lot of stress there. This guy pisses me off though. And those are legit horns. We had that one heifer, I think, what was it, 2 years ago or 3 years ago? But we kept her because she had horns. We kept her and put her in the fats group. And we just processed her as an extra animal. And she turned out really well. That's Helga's steer calf. Always raises a nice calf. Oh, and here's Barb's kingpin bull. Right next to Jeff. Yeah, Jeff's looking all right. Right, buddy? All right, I think it's time to head back. But it's good to take a nice little peek at the calves. I think I want to take another look, maybe get some pictures tomorrow. It's been a little while. All right, checking the fence. That little issue gained me another 1,000 on the line. So, as always, I hope you guys liked the video. On your way out, please smash that like button. Helps support the channel. And if you got any questions, drop them in the comments. And definitely don't forget to subscribe. Helps support us here at Ohrmundt Simmentals. And as always, thanks for coming along.